Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
Have you ever wondered what It's a Wonderful Life would be like if the message wasn't about your life having meaning, but instead it was about the fact that everyone you know is going to go to hell? Well, you're in luck, because Second Glance is in fact a movie that exists. It teaches just about every bad aspect of Christianity, except for racism, homophobia, and transphobia. Those are the only ones absent here. Wait, no, I just remembered. I just remembered. This isn't even like planned or anything. I just remembered. No, the only person of color who gets any lines in the movie at all is somebody who tells the main character that he saw a fight where someone almost died. So, the movie is racist. Maybe not intentionally, but it still is. But yeah, so the premise of the movie is that this incel Christian guy is upset because women aren't interested in him, because
They just see me as a nice guy, that's all.
Why won't Tim go out with me? I help her with her homework. I'm so gosh darn nice to her.
this is Danny. He started a Jesus club at his school, and is teaching his friend Scotty how to be Christian.
Hey, Dan. Yeah.
Jesus, man.
He said it! He said it!
One of his friends, Bull, is really unstable, so he gives him relationship advice and calms him down to not beat people up for talking to his girlfriend. There's gonna be a party tomorrow, and all the cool kids are gonna be there, like Doug, the bully.
He makes fun of God, and all the women love him, so Danny doesn't like that.
He also gets the teacher to think that Danny was cheating on a test, and the teacher gets mad at Danny because he thought that Danny being a Christian meant he was a good person.
You've given me hope, Dan. I actually thought you weren't like the rest. Faith had given you some sound principles.
When he gets back to his house, Danny has a conversation with his dad about getting suspended for this, in which Danny says that he wishes he could go to the party, and his dad said that the party is just a bunch of sin, so then Danny wishes that he was never a Christian. So unlike It's a Wonderful Life, where the guy wants to kill himself and wishes he never existed because of how depressed he is, this is just a movie about how you being a Christian means the world is better, rather than your existence. Literally, it just tries to scare people into being Christian by saying, oh, all this bad stuff's gonna happen to you if you're not. Ooh. He wakes up wearing a backwards cap and is dressed like a clownfish, because dressing up like a fish is the greatest sin ever. There are gothic pictures on his walls, his room's a mess, his house is a mess, his mom's bad at cooking, which really shouldn't surprise you, because misogyny wasn't one of the things I said this movie isn't. Oh yeah, and even though this information comes in later, I'm just gonna say it now because it also involves his parents. They're divorced in this universe, and his mom is seeing another guy now, even though she seems happier in this universe than she did in the normal universe. Because his parents are split up, his sister doesn't exist because they never had her, I guess. You know, fear tactics. Ooh, if you're not Christian, your parents are gonna split up, one of them will move to a different city, and then they won't be able to make a sibling for you. Like, what the fuck? If it isn't obvious, I don't think divorce should be stigmatized, and honestly, I think, in general, I think a lot of the things Christianity considers a sin is just disgusting behavior on their part. Divorce is a good thing. Sometimes calling off the relationship is the right move to make, and I think the fact that Christianity stigmatizes that is just harmful behavior that keeps people in unhappy situations for the rest of their lives. So when I say that this movie is an amalgamation of all the worst aspects of Christianity, it's not just a case of me being an atheist who doesn't think it's a true religion and therefore I don't like it. I genuinely have a bone to pick with some of the ideas it spreads onto society. Also, the idea that this movie spreads is that it's your fault if your parents get divorced just because you didn't have enough faith, which is also just completely disgusting to tell people, especially children. An angel appears who only Danny can see. He introduces himself as Muriel. He explains that because Danny wished he was never a Christian, God made today as if Danny was never a Christian, just to show him what it would be like and teach him a lesson. Despite the entire universe being radically different, Danny never believes Muriel until the very end, and spends the entire movie walking around and being like, hey, wait a second, where's this thing? How is this thing different? And then somebody else or Muriel has to come in and explain it to him. And yet, even in spite of that, he still doesn't believe he's in an alternate dimension until the very end of the movie, where he and Muriel have a one-to-one. He's stupid in ways that don't even make sense. So he's actually friends with Doug the Bully in this timeline, and if that sounds interesting, it really isn't. Basically, the only important thing that comes from this is the fact that he and Doug messed up the teacher's car, so the teacher had to go get a different job. And then Muriel shows up and says, oh, by the way, you were the only good thing in the teacher's life. He was really sad all the time, and he liked you. Wah, wah, this guy has nothing to live for if you're not a Christian. Oh yeah, also, by the way, he was one of the best teachers in the school, so him not working there anymore is gonna fuck up the future generation. Uh-oh. The logic in this movie literally just exists to scare people to go to church and give them money. And it doesn't follow any semblance of real cause and effect. It's just so ridiculous and nonsensical that it unintentionally becomes kinda hilarious, where you anticipate, oh boy, what are they gonna do next? That's just so stupid. Literally every argument this movie tries to make falls apart instantly if you think about it for even a second. The movie even throws in sports betting out of nowhere, but the funny thing is, Danny actually won a lot of money in a nice car in this universe, so it unintentionally makes it seem like a good thing. Also, Danny has 2 girlfriends in this universe. One of them is his crush, and the other one is actually Bull's girlfriend. So, that's not good, because remember, Bull was unstable, and the movie says that because Danny in this universe isn't a Christian, he doesn't actually care about other people's feelings, because no non-believer ever could. So, actually, Bull beat the shit out of his friend, and put him in the hospital, almost killed him. But the worst of it goes to Scotty. And I don't just mean the worst thing that happens in this alternate timeline, I mean the worst lesson the movie tries to teach. The fact that Danny isn't a Christian in this universe led to Scotty never becoming a Christian, and he killed himself. This movie tries to portray non-Christians as a suicidal cult that you have to indoctrinate into Christianity in order to stop them from killing themselves. That is horrific. This is genuinely irresponsible. I fucking hate this movie, dude. Everything else in it was at least kind of funny with how bad it was. This is genuinely... I don't even know what to say, man. This isn't funny. This is... This is horrible. And this isn't even the end of it, because once the universe gets back to normal, Muriel and Danny have a conversation where they talk about relationships, and Muriel tries to teach Danny that you should never be in a relationship with anybody if you don't plan on marrying them, which is just... Fuck you. Fuck you. Just go fuck yourself. And apparently Doug the bully was just a closeted Christian this whole time. Go fuck yourself, movie. Holy shit, dude. I don't... You're not even worth my time. You're not worth anybody here's time. This is all a waste of time. Why the fuck am I reviewing this? I just remembered. I glossed over the fact that Danny's in a polyamorous relationship in this universe due to the fact that there's already just so much going on. I didn't even think to stop and talk about that, because the movie portrays that as bad as well, because that's a thing that Christianity arbitrarily doesn't like. Did I literally only think that reviewing this movie would be a good idea because of the fact that it ends with, "Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man," which is a big meme? Well, it was a big meme. What the fuck? What am I doing anyway? I'm just gonna end the video now. You already know how bad this is. I don't need to explain any further. I made my point.